Hi, it's John here from GPS Training. We often get people who've bought GPS units elsewhere and have made the wrong decision. So what I'm going to do in this short video is look at some of the key things we need to think about and consider, and some of the FAQs that we get asked from people before they're buying their first outdoor GPS unit. The first myth we have to bust is a cheaper unit is not easy to use. Often it's completely the opposite. People assume that the cheaper the unit is, the less functionality it has, and therefore it's going to be easy to use. That's not the case. With a lot of the eTrex range in the Garmin series, they have that little toggle, that little joystick on the top, and we see a lot of people on our courses struggling to use them. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the Garmin eTrex 22x, 32x GPS units, but it's not easier to use than what a GPS Map series GPS unit is. So if you can afford it, go for a GPS Map series up to 65S, 66S, 66SR, 66I, and also the Montana series. You'll find paying that little bit extra money, you get a far better GPS unit. And with the buttons down below, rather than the little joystick, it's just far easier to use. The next key thing to remember when buying an outdoor GPS unit is make sure you buy your Ordnance Survey maps, if you're in the UK, alongside your GPS unit. You're actually going to get these Ordnance Survey maps at a discounted rate. One of the most common mistakes people make is buying a GPS unit without Ordnance Survey mapping, just the unit as a standalone product, or with a preloaded Topo Active mapping, which are not suitable for walking in the UK, and then realise they then have to purchase a map card, which could be £200 or £350. But if they bought that map card at the same time of purchasing their GPS unit as what we call a bundled product, they would have got it at a discount rate, and even up to half the price than buying it as a standalone product. So if you're buying a GPS unit, make sure you buy a map card at the same time when you buy your actual unit. The next common mistake that people make is you don't need two-way satellite communication when you're out walking. If you are going up mountains in winter and a lot of solo walking, yes, maybe worth a two-way satellite communication, but just be aware that you do need to buy a subscription for these to work. Again, common mistake is I buy a GPS unit with what's called InReach technology built in. Yeah, it's extra £100, brilliant, but you're going to be paying £200 plus a year in subscription for this to work. Alternatively, if you've learned how to use your GPS unit properly, plan your routes on the computer, print those out, leave them at home with somebody, and let them know what they should be doing with that. I'll maybe do another video on what you should be doing and leaving it at home when you're going out walking. You can get around not needing that two-way satellite communication. So if money's no object, brilliant. But actually buy yourself a better GPS unit and learn how to use it, rather than spending money on two-way satellite communication where you realise down the line that you need to buy a subscription for that to work. The next key thing to think about is don't go and spend a lot of money on a GPS unit and only use 30% of its features. E.g., learn how to use your GPS unit. You're far better going spending £450 on a GPS unit with Ordnance Survey mapping, getting 80, 90, 100% out of that unit, than spending £1,000 on a GPS unit and only getting 30 or 40% out of it because you don't know how to use it. The other thing I would think about is if you do get an electronic compass on an outdoor GPS unit. It gives you accuracy at small movements. If you think about it, GPS units work off satellites thousands of miles above, and when you turn the GPS to 90 degrees, so what? It doesn't know that you've changed direction. But as walkers, it's very important to be pointing in the correct direction. So if you can afford it, get a GPS unit with a built-in electronic compass. Just usually, well, they also come with a barometric altimeter to give you a little bit more accurate height data. But the key thing for me is get a GPS unit with that electronic compass, improved accuracy, and that's money well spent. One of the other questions we get asked a lot when people are buying an outdoor GPS unit is, do I need 1 to 25k mapping? You don't need Ordnance Survey 1 to 25k mapping on an outdoor GPS unit. If you can afford it, get it. But if you can't, get 1 to 50k mapping. The difference is you're going to be moving across the map. So don't get me wrong, if I was buying a paper map, I would be buying a 125k map. Why would I not be buying it? But if I'm buying a GPS unit, you're going to see yourself moving across the screen. You're either on the path or off the path. If you're not on the path, walk 5 yards right, and now you're on the path. You don't need the extra information the 125k map gives you, which is field boundaries, open access, and maybe permitted paths. We could debate whether you need that or not. But when the price difference is often a couple of £100 from 125k map to a 150k map, you will get away and navigate with no problems with a 150k map card. If you see some of our walk and talk series, I sometimes walk with 150k, sometimes walk with 125k. I cannot even be bothered to change the map card. Whatever switch the GPS unit on and it's got that mapping in, I'll go and walk with it. We can still plan on 125k mapping on our free ordnance survey route planning software, which I'll put a link to just above. But don't think that you need 125k in your unit. You get away with 150k. So as you've realised, there's not a best GPS unit. It very much depends on the activities you're using it for, your budget, and also the seasons that you're going to be using it in. So what to do next is, there's a link below to a personalised GPS recommendation. Just fill in that short form with a few details. I'll personally look at that and email you what GPS units I think you should be looking at. What I'll also do is email you links to the walk and talks I've done with those GPS units. When I go for a walk with those GPS units, you'll see them working in action, you'll see how to use it properly, and you can make that judgment yourselves. And again, if you have any other questions, don't hesitate, just leave a comment in the comment box below, or drop me an email when you've done your personalised GPS recommendation.